And then there were 4 in the playoffs. And then there's 2 in the studio. Me alone in here. Keaton's in his little box.
Hiding.
You'll
find out why.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff that we got to announce. But before we get to that, we have this cool intro.
Welcome to the show, live from Mesa, Arizona, with your host, Garrison Stevens. Ryan Dieter. Hold on. There he is. Produced by Keat Mangiolo.
Yeah.
Just 2 Beardos.
All right, welcome back. So, there's 4 in the playoffs. There's 2 in the studio. The reason why there's only 2 of us here, one of us, who shall not be named, tested positive for COVID.
And he's in the studio.
And
the other
talking.
one is scared.
And the other one is scared.
Scared Gare.
Scared Gare.
As they call him.
As they call him. Garrison, you should know. Scared money don't make money.
But I'm safe in my little box with these 2 windows. Keep me away from COVID, Ryan.
Yeah. Which is weird all in itself because I don't know where it came from. We don't know anyone who had it. And I haven't passed it on to anyone. So it's been weird. You don't have it. You don't even have any symptoms.
Well, I'm very strong.
Very
strong-willed, strong-minded, and immunity strong.
Those Bongiorno genes, man.
Hey,
super
watch
strong. So yeah, Garrison's scared that he might get it. Yeah, I mean.
But we don't quit here in the Beardos studio.
We really don't, other than him. So that's why I'm alone right now.
Well, that's not the only reason.
Well, that's a different kind of alone.
Oh, yeah.
We talk about that a lot, it seems like.
Yeah.
And so what happened this week, what else happened this week was just the non-fantasy stuff. ASU football killed U of A. That was awesome, 70-7. Cardinals won. There was a lot of good positive news this week other than the fact that I have COVID. And again, I tested positive for it, but I don't know where I got it from, and I haven't passed it on to anyone else.
And you weren't really even that sick.
And I wasn't really that sick. It was like a mild flu. And
for
whatever.
Like 2 days, 3 days maybe?
Yeah, I'm not buying it. I'm still not buying this COVID thing. So, Matt, I'm not buying it. I know you're a doctor. I ain't buying it.
But shut up.
But shut up.
Shut up with your crap.
Your stupid doctor crap. Okay. So, what happened this week as well? We had a couple of games in the playoffs. Well, first, talk about Scared Gare. Derelict My Balls beat D's Lutz, Luke Teeney's team, 163.72 to 148.56. Garrison wins himself an award. Even though it was only 16 points, he won the You're Killing Him award. You're killing him! So, you're able to do that when there's only 2 games that matter being played this week. And so, with him being the 6th seed, Luke being the 3 seed, that gives him the ICU Ba award as well. ICU Ba. So, I guess, we'll give him that award as well since it was technically an upset. So, just Garrison had a really solid week across the board. The only person that really didn't probably pull his weight was Chase Claypool. But everyone else, like Herbert, scored basically 20. Montgomery, who you traded, right?
Mm-hmm.
Finally gave him a good week of 24.5 points against Houston. Bears killed Houston that game. So good points there. Derrick Henry, we bring him up again. His hair looks like a poop. He went off for 36 points against Jacksonville. So it's Jacksonville. And we were kind of suspecting that would happen. 20 points by Keenan, another guy that you traded to him.
Pretty much every guy Gare has been traded to him.
We forgot to bring this up last week, actually. We went over the rosters. not one person on Garrison's roster was originally drafted by him. He either has them by free agency or trade.
Unbelievable.
Garrison cannot keep to his own. He's not loyal. Sorry, Gina. He ain't loyal. So, yeah, he has no one. I think the top two other teams were Luke and I, who have had like 11 and 10 players still that we drafted on our roster. But Garrison just doesn't care. He just trades and picks people up and, tries to build his team that way throughout a season.
That's going to change next year, Gare.
Yeah, he says, or you say that. And
you think you're scared now, Gare?
Yeah.
Wait till next year.
His defense goes off for 20. He just had a really solid week by, a good handful of players. And, I had that last week as well with Marcus, too. That was a good game. Luke, he just couldn't get it done without McCaffrey this year. He had him for 1-2 games, if that.
Yep. I feel that pain.
Yeah, it sucks because he was the number 1 overall pick. He just scores a ton of fantasy points, and you're just without that on your team. And he was trying to find, replacements with Mostert, Sanders. I traded him Bart Scott at one point in time. So he was throughout the whole season trying to find a running back to try to fill that void, but just never really happened, which gives him an award that he probably doesn't want. Mostert only scored 9 points this week. He had Miles Sanders on his bench, scored 29.6. If he would have made that change, he would have beat Garrison this week. So, sorry, Luke, but you win the Uncle Rico Award.
Yeah, coach would have put me in fourth quarter. We'd have been state champions, no doubt. No doubt in my mind.
So, that kind of stings when you pee. So I saw that and I was like, oh, it's a 15-point deficit. Was there anything that Luke could have done? And then when I saw that, it hurt my heart a little bit because been there, done that plenty of times. So that's what happened in that game. Garrison seemed to be pretty much in control. There wasn't really, a time where I thought Luke would make it closer to a game. But so Garrison moves on to the next round, and he will take on Marcus, Team King Camara, next week. So we'll get to that here in a second.
Watch out, here he comes!
Oh, watch out, here I come.
Watch out, Gare. Marcus is coming for you.
Yeah, Marcus is gunning for you. You've had a target on your back all year, Garrison. And now Marcus is... This is... who's brought... Was it Dez that's been calling it his revenge tour?
No, that was Matt.
Matt, yeah. Matt's been calling it Marcus's revenge tour. So we'll get to see that into effect this week. All right, getting into the game that just blew everyone's mind.
Yeah, especially mine.
So I did not think I had a chance in this game because let me tell you something here. Lamar Jackson scored over 30 points once this year, and that was week 6 against Philadelphia, 30.24. I needed him to score like 35, 36 points. And I was like, I don't think he's doing that against Cleveland. Cleveland doesn't have a great defense, but they're a pretty good team. Their offense was going to, score quite a bit, so it would keep Baltimore's defense on the field longer. But the thing that had to happen happened for me, and it was the fact that it was a high-scoring game, 47-42, so there was a lot of back and forth. So the offenses were just going back and forth, scoring a lot. Yep. So that's what killed. What else happened was that Lamar Jackson, at the beginning of the fourth quarter, I don't know what the deal is. The first reports was he had cramp issues. And then you see him...
Was it that time of the month for him? Or?
Yeah, well, it could have been. Apparently... He's been having that time of month a lot of Sundays because he's not scoring that much. Anyway, so you see him like coming off the field and he's like going into the locker room and he's like doing this waddle of like, it looks like, I've made that walk a few times when you have to go doo-doo, where it's like, oh, I don't want to hold it in kind of deal.
Do you think he already doo-dooed or he was going to doo-doo?
We don't know. Like, I don't know what happened because there was a lot of talks that's what it was. So, Lamar Jackson on his Instagram posted, I think this is Twitter. He goes on Twitter, says, "I did not poop last night, I won." And then Odell Beckham Jr., wide receiver for the Browns, we've talked about his love for being pooped on. He said, "Can it please be both? What bathroom did you use? Did you flush?" And then he follows it up with the last one that says, "Send photos." What a weirdo, dude. What?
Hey, at least he's just, doing his thing. He's not hiding anything.
Yeah, he's
not
owning
holding
up.
back.
Yeah, he's owning it. And so the funny thing is, Odell Beckham, even though he's out for the year, his team is the team that Lamar played last night. So it makes it even a little bit more funnier. But it's just hilarious. Like, what in the world this guy has a love for poop. Apparently he likes Derrick Henry because his hair looks like a poop.
Yeah, he'd probably, they can't be on a team together. That would be.
That would be weird. So Lamar, that happened in the fourth quarter. I'm getting text messages by Marcus and Garrison saying, "Hey man, you're close. Like, it's halftime and you're like over halfway there." I was like, you know what? He's just gonna get close enough to piss me off. And then fourth quarter, like I mentioned, he gets hurt or he has to go poop, whatever it was. He was listed as questionable to return. And then he actually did come back and on the very next play throws a touchdown on the first play back. It was 4th and 5 and he throws a touchdown.
And then you were down by like 0.3 points from me.
Yeah, I was down. Yes.
And I came in and I was like, oh, shoot.
Yeah, you came back from hanging out with Carrie, right?
Yeah.
And I was just watching the last minute game, and the only thing that was going to help me was really Cleveland needed to score to tie the game, which they did. Because if they didn't score, then Lamar Jackson wouldn't be gaining points because they'd probably just be handing it off to waste of time. So they tied, and so Lamar had to, with a minute left, they tried to get down the field to get in kicking position. Lamar, long story short, gets enough points, and I'm hoping at this point the field goal goes through because I don't want overtime. I'm up by 1 point. If Lamar Jackson goes into overtime, throws a pick, I'm losing by 1 all of a sudden. So I was like, end of this game.
And they did it for you.
And Tucker came through. Best kicker in the league, came through, knocked it in. So that was just a crazy game. I was not expecting to score nearly that much from Lamar to be able to keep me in it. So that was a lifesaver.
Well, congrats, Ryan. I feel
Thank you,
so
man.
happy for you.
Yeah.
Now you better win or I'm going to be pissed.
So yeah, which leads me to play against Dez Mark next week. So me and Dez.
Did you get an award for this one, Ryan?
I did. I almost forgot. Thank you. I got the Spinal Award, and it goes to Lamar Jackson. Obviously, scoring that many points, he made up 25.7%.
He finally did something for you, Ryan.
He scored a quarter of my points to have me win yesterday. That's nuts.
Don't you love that?
And he finally did do something for me. So I'll get off. I'll get off that soapbox of Lamar sucking, since he single-handedly let me win this week. Okay, let's get into predictions, and let me get to it here. We'll first talk about Garrison taking on Marcus, and we'll go through the matchup here, see what we got in store. Herbert has the Raiders. That's a pretty decent matchup for Garrison. Montgomery's playing Minnesota, who's actually playing some really good football. Other than last week, they lost to the Buccaneers. They're battling with the Cardinals right now for the playoffs, but before that game, they were on a roll. So we'll see if they can reestablish themselves. They do have a pretty good front seven, so Montgomery might have a tough time. Henry against Detroit, that sets up to be another good points day for Derrick Henry. Chris Godwin up against Atlanta. Atlanta's just straight trash. So that should be a decent day, but it depends on who Brady's going to throw it to that day. Is he going to throw it to Gronk? Is he going to throw it to Evans? We don't know. Keenan Allen's playing against the Raiders as well. Decent matchup. Hawkinson against the Titans. That could be tough. Swift against the Titans as well. That could be tough. So I don't know if Garrison's going to make any changes. He could. Cam Akers of the Rams is playing the Jets, so that could be favorable for him to put him in. And he has the Rams defense against the Jets. However, his kicker is out. So I don't know what the deal with that is. But
We'll find someone. He's the king of waiver wire.
Let's get back to that here in a second. Marcus, Tom Brady against the Falcons. That's a good matchup for him. Kamara against the Chiefs. That's going to be tough. Mike Davis against the Packers. That's going to be tough. Tyreek Hill against the Saints. That should be okay for him. I think Tyreek will still score quite a bit. Woods against the Jets. That should be good for Marcus. Logan Thomas against Seattle. That should be decent as well. Thielen against the Bears. So not that bad matchups. Now, this is where I wanted to get back to the kicker situation. Young-Ho Koo for Marcus. He could be the differentiator. Whoa.
Whoa.
That was
Easy.
a big word. That could be the difference. I mean, if he picks up a kicker that gets him like 4 points, I'm talking Garrison here, and then Young-Ho Koo does what Young-Ho Koo does, and that's score. We know he's a scorer.
Mm-hmm. He knows how to
He only got
score.
6 last week, so he's probably out to get some more this week. But
We're talking about kicking, right?
we're talking about kicking. Okay. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy because it's like, oh yeah, everything matches up well, but really the biggest difference is the kickers between Marcus and Garrison.
So what's your prediction?
Whew. My prediction is I'm gonna go with Marcus. I think Marcus will be able to come through and be able to capitalize on some of these matchups. And I think the matchups that don't line up well, like Kamara against the Chiefs, it's still Kamara. He could still overcome something like that. It's not like a middle-of-the-road player who might get stopped, like Montgomery on Garrison's side. He's like middle-of-the-road player going up against a good defense. I think he could get stopped, but I think someone like Kamara can overcome, even the best defenses. So just based on those kinds of things, I'm going to go with Marcus here. I think he beats Garrison. What about you?
I think because Garrison is such a stacked team, because he's a swindler, that little freaking
Swindler.
Scared Gare little weirdo guy that he is, scaring everyone else into giving him his players. Anyway, I think his team is very good, but I'm going to go with Marcus.
Ooh. You win.
Because Marcus has been surprising us all year, and I don't know why it'll stop now.
Yeah. I'm kind of on board with that because, I'm buying into the revenge tour. I'm buying into it.
You're buying tickets?
I'm buying tickets. I'm going to
we
be
go
watching.
Are you allowed to go, though? You got COVID. I guess next week.
Yeah. Thursday, I should be cleared.
Perfect.
Yeah. I should be cleared to be able to roam around, and I feel invincible now because they said within these 3 months, the chance of you getting it is very rare. So I feel I could go
taste
anywhere.
and smell?
It's there. I think it was just that weird time where I was congested and I just normal.
Which
you
is
can't
common.
do that. Yeah, which is common. So I'm glad it's not gone because I was tasting stuff at lunch today. So
Good. I was tasting stuff.
I was tasting some good stuff.
I don't know
today.
if I want to know what you were tasting.
Yeah, don't ask. Let's get into the second game of the semis. So this time it's Ridley, me, this Batman, my team, versus Ojai Mark of Desmond. I actually think I have some pretty good matchups this week. Lamar Jackson against Jacksonville. Whew. That's a great matchup. Hopefully he can keep
You're
doing.
loving Lamar now. You're like,
Well,
yeah,
now,
Lamar.
Well, I hope he can freaking continue this because maybe he's just peaking at the right time. Maybe he's like, you know what? I've been through this last year. I did great the whole season, but then they lost in the first round of the playoffs or their first game of the playoffs. So now maybe he's like, you know what? I peaked too early last year. I'm going to start peaking at the end of the season.
Maybe he needs to go to the games having to poop more often.
Yeah, him and Odell Beckham need to
That's the secret to being great.
just
having
got to
to go
hold in the
poop.
poop. There might be some truth to that because there's plenty of times when I played football and I had my pads on and I was like,
pooped my
shoot.
pants.
I was like, man, I have to go to the bathroom. But once you get going,
And what's your point? Did it start? Did you do good?
No. This is what I'm saying. So once the games start going, you don't think about that stuff anymore. And so I just feel like I'm going. And then at the end of the game on the ride home,
I pooped my pants.
no, it's not that bad, but I'm just like, oh yeah, I forgot I had to go.
What the heck? Whatever.
Well, it's not like an easy sport to just take your stuff off and go find a bathroom. Like, you're always at a stadium. There's, like, usually no bathrooms open. It's not like a basketball arena where there's bathrooms and a locker room usually, and it's just like you have shorts on.
Yeah.
It's just more work to do. So I just held it, and I forgot about it until the ride home, and I was like, oh, I need to go.
Good stuff.
But I will tell you, I never pooped or peed in my gear before. So
I'm so proud of you, Ryan.
I want to make sure everyone on this podcast knows that. So getting back to this, Aaron Jones plays against Carolina. Not a bad matchup. James Conner plays against the Bengals. That's a great matchup. Hopefully they freaking run the ball this week. He got me like less than 2 points last week. Thomas playing the Chiefs. Again, that's another player like Kamara who, even though it's a good team, I still think he's a great enough player to overcome that. Ridley's playing Tampa Bay defense. That could be tough. But they do have different weapons on that team that can make sure he doesn't get doubled up. Darren Waller against the Chargers. That's a good matchup. Stephon Diggs against Denver Broncos. Great matchup. Steelers defense against Cincinnati's offense. Great matchup. I'm really liking my matchups here. Aaron Rodgers against Carolina and Devontae Adams. So he's kind of like my Aaron Jones. It's a decent matchup for both of those guys. It's not going to be a great defense that they're playing, so they'll probably get some points there. Zeke is playing against the 49ers. That'll be interesting. Depends on how San Francisco plays that game, but I could see them just loading the box as well because Cowboys are not that good. CEH playing New Orleans. Scary Terry against Seattle and Mark Andrews against Jacksonville. So he doesn't have terrible matchups, but I actually do like mine a little bit more. I could see him maybe playing the Ravens defense against Jacksonville, replacing that with the Browns against the Giants, trying to see if there's any other players that he might put in instead. Maybe, but I think he's rolling with who he, you got to dance with the person that took you there, And for me, that's Lamar Jackson.
Right, Gare?
Yeah.
Oh,
Gare.
wait. Gare has none of the same players.
Oh, dang, Gare. So, long story short, as much as it pains me to say this, because I'm King Jinxer, I'm going to pick myself to win this week. I think I have a little bit better matchups. And ESPN is giving me win probability of 52%.
All right.
What about you? Are you on board with me?
I think it's going to be really close. I don't know. Dez's team did pretty bad this week. I mean, he didn't play anyone, but
Yeah.
I think he's going to have a better week. But I think I'm going to have to go with Dez. As much as I want you to beat Dez, honestly.
No, I like it because I would be more worried if you went for me.
I don't know. Your team did pretty good this week, but you never know. Like you said, sometimes they go off and then they just at the end. So I'm going to go with Dez.
Yeah, and that's why I'm worried about Garrison's team. Because you see that in fantasy, the team goes off for a week. It's rare where you get like back-to-back, like 160, 180 games. And Garrison just came off a 160 game. So that's
Are you
another
worried
reason.
or excited?
What?
Are you worried about it or are you excited?
About what?
About Gare's week.
No, I'm not worried about it.
You said I'm
because
worried. That's why
I'm
saying
worried
this.
for him, I guess.
I'm not.
I'm worried for him because it's rare to get those kind of weeks back to back.
He'll be fine. He's been getting some now after getting married, and he's good. He's fine. He can lose.
Yeah, yes, he can definitely lose.
Actually, that might hurt the performance with the.
Ooh, sorry, Gina. And the funny thing we talked about as well is Marcus and Dez would have lost to every single one of us, the four of us that actually had games this week, if they would have played this week. So they got lucky they had a bye.
Yeah,
both of them.
that would have been nice.
Yeah, frick. So, and that's another thing to where they come back this week and their players do well. So we'll see how that all that entails going forward. So that's what happened this past week in the first round of the playoffs. This is the semis now. These are our predictions, and they're probably wrong predictions. But with that being said, we've had 4 people eliminated, and so we just wanted to give some
Send-offs.
Some send-offs here. So, Matt, with you being a doctor, go back to doing doctor stuff. Save people from this thing that's COVID. Apparently, that's a terrible thing that is highly transmissible, but I haven't been able to find where it came from or given it to anyone else.
And Ryan and I've been kissing like every night, and nothing's
Yeah.
happening.
And he's been kissing Carrie afterwards. So, and we haven't heard anything.
You know I'm doing that.
Nick, guess what you get to do now? You get to be able to focus more time on TikTok.
Yeah, get that stuff going,
Yeah.
Nick.
I've been liking these dance videos. They're hyping me up. You're getting a lot of views, but we need to get that to freaking, what do you call it? What is it called when it just explodes? Yeah, it goes viral, man. We need that to
Well, let's give it a
happen.
tag. What's his tag?
It's probably at Superman Inc.
Check
That's
him
what
out.
his tag is for everything. So,
Check it out. He's super talented.
Luke, you don't have to be told this. You may have to get permission from my sister, but go ahead and go hunting, man. You had a
deserve
tough
it.
year, man. McCaffrey got hurt. Just go enjoy
Tough
and
year.
kill.
He's like destroying everyone.
I know.
He had a tough year. You beat everyone all year and then lost.
Go kill something to make yourself feel better, man. And then Keat, you're the last one. Sorry, but good news for Carrie means more time for her. And
And I get to just huck furniture around
you get
all
the
day.
Huck furniture. I'm sure Greg loves that too.
Oh, yeah.
So you get to be able to start delivering that and moving it
Ooh,
around.
can't wait. Oh, wait, I already do that all the time. Awesome.
Oh, well, people, that's it for this week. It's a very meat and potatoes kind of broadcast here today. It's just us two. And we just wanted to make sure you guys knew what was going on in the playoffs. So stay tuned. Hopefully it's another crazy game where someone wins on Monday Night Football. That'd be crazy. Hopefully it's not against me. But Keaton, do you want to get us out of here? You never get to do stuff like this.
See you later, you little freaks.